Hey guys, a lot of people when they get out on the water fishing and they find structure, timber, weed beds, a lot of the time they'll give it a miss and go and fish somewhere else, open water, because they're worried about snagging or fouling their soft plastic up in that timber or that weed. But that timber and weed holds crabs, yabbies, prawns, bait fish. It holds the food that a lot of those fish are looking for. So if you can get in and fish that structure, you're a good chance of finding a fish. So to do that effectively, there's two jig heads that I use a lot when I want a sinking plastic, and that's the snake locks and also the snake locks finesse, both from TT Lures. So these are basically designed with a worm hook and a head weight. The head weight pulls the lure down, and that worm hook allows you to rig weedless, so you're not catching that weed or fouling up on that timber. The difference between the two, the snake locks is built on a heavy wire, black nickel mustard chemically sharpened hook. The finesse is built on a fine wire mustard black nickel chemically sharpened hook. So both quality hooks, but the fine wire is all about penetration, especially on light lines and with light leaders, whereas the snake locks, although it's still sticky sharp and will get that penetration, it's also a heavier hook for handling those bigger fish. And you'll also find that when you look at the size range. So the finesse is available from a size 4, which is perfect for your favorite small plastics like a Z-Man 2-inch grubs, 2.5-inch grubs. So you can go and chase brim, weedless, right in amongst that structure. And it goes from that size 4 through to a size 3.0 for bass and those sorts of things. Step up to the snake locks in the heavy hook, and the snake lock starts at a 2.0 and it goes through to an 8.0. So it has you covered from bass through to barra, big cod. Lots of quality fish get caught on those. Already proven themselves out there fishing. These guys, especially jacks, barra, cod, those sorts of things, and the smaller guys on the brim, the bass, the flatties, and that sort of thing. And that's where I fish them. I fish them for flathead. So people say to me, "What, you're fishing weedless for flatties? You're crazy, you know? Just go and fish a sandbank." But it's amazing. You sneak up into those little drains where it's real weedy and rubbly in amongst the sand, and you try and fish a normal standard jig head, and you'll foul up weed. Change over to one of these and you can hop and roll that plastic through that weed without fouling up. Flatty hits it, and because here I'm using Z-Man plastics, super soft and flexible, that plastic will clear from the hook. Boom, fish on, away you go. Great thing about them is we can fish that area that we can fish, but also generally when you do hook a fish on that weedless hook, you get a solid hook set in the roof of the mouth, or in the corner of the jaw. You get that solid hook set on the fish. So sometimes you'll even see me poling smaller flatties and stuff in because it is hooked so well. The downside with weedless rigging is that it's harder for the fish to find the hook. So the way I overcome that generally is I keep the plastic moving a lot more. If I'm fishing a standard jig head, I might let it pause for a fair while, hop it, pause for a fair while, hop it. Whereas the snake locks weedless style, I'll pause it, and as soon as it's paused and hit the bottom, I'll pretty much give it a couple more hops. Or I'll slow roll it over the top of that weed and through those flats as well. So there you go. If you come across those weed banks that you know are holding fish, there's lots of bait up on there, don't go and chase a sand flat or whatever. Get your lures weedless rigged and get into that structure, get into that weed and give it a crack on that TT Lures snake locks finesse or the standard snake locks on that heavier wire hook. Also, a trick with these, you can actually remove that head and hook separately. So by carrying a little pack of them with you in a range of hook sizes and head weights, you can also interchange those easily as you need to. Or you can have a few different colors rigged and just switch them off and on. So there you go. Before we go though, I should probably show you how to rig one of those. Okay, so a quick guide to weedless rigging. We take our hook and our plastic. We want to go in through the nose of the plastic and out on about a 45 degree. And basically we're just locking in the chin of that plastic in this little chin lock. So that chin lock locks your soft plastic in place. And then we need to get our hook straight up through the plastic. So I like to roll it over, put it through where we want it to go through, and it'll pop out on the back there somewhere. And this plastic actually has a fin so that we can tuck the hook into the fin. But if you don't have a fin on your plastic and you want to conceal it a little bit more, you can actually just pull the plastic back and let the hook point sink into the plastic a little. So that's one of my favourites for flatties, but also a good one for jacks and barra and that sort of thing. 3-inch minnows on a 1/4 3/0 snake locks jig head.